everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Pixel Scouters. I'm your humble host, Pat O'Reilly, and with me as always is my co-host, Rob Green, owner of Fanfic Gaming and entrepreneur extraordinaire. Hey Rob, what's up?
Yo, Patty, what's going on, man?
Oh, you know what it do, baby. Rob and I want to thank all you guys for joining us today, taking a break from your crazy lives, talk about something we all enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, Rob, if you could put into words how much you enjoy gaming, how would that go? Would that be like a cool drink of iced tea on a hot day? Or are we talking like how much a bear enjoys its first shit after a long hibernation?
I mean, yeah, it's probably as cool and as fun as a water slide in winter. I mean, it's got its ups and downs.
Nice, true. Gaming definitely has its ups and downs.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate myself and sometimes I love myself. Forget where I am.
We all
you know
feel
what I'm
that.
saying? What do we have in store today? What are we doing?
We're going to jump into our first segment that's called What Are We Playing? Would you like to go first?
All right. So, yeah, I can go first. So right now I'm playing a brand new game that, new to me. It's still in early access, but I just got the notice that it's actually coming out in February. And the game is called Curse of the Dead Gods. It's kind of like Hades, and everybody knows what Hades is. It's like an award-winning, it's an award-winning roguelite. And this is similar, but it's got some interesting mechanics, which I really, really like. So one of those mechanics is as you progress through the levels or take damage, you are gaining curses. And those curses are randomized each run, and they make the next level progressively harder. And as you finish one level, you have a choice at the end of that level if you want to upgrade your weapon, heal yourself a little bit, or get like a relic and power up your character. But that choice is, do I pay gold? Well, did you find enough gold? Or do I sacrifice blood and get more curses? So it's this like balancing act between, like making the game really difficult, but also making your character more powerful or your weapons more powerful. It's a lot of fun. Art style is fantastic. It's got a pretty cool storyline. To be fair, I've only played maybe like, an hour and a half of it. I was drunk for about 45 minutes of that. And like not even a little tipsy, but like proper drunk. But I loved it, and I'm terrible at it. It also, one of the great things about it, which I think is something that made Hades so good, is the mechanics of the gameplay are really fine-tuned. So when you're trying to dodge hit or parry a hit, like the characters that I've encountered so far are all telegraphing their moves. Just enough so that it's not easy. It's still very difficult, but it's not blindsiding you and it's not merciless.
Sure.
Like if you're
like when the big yellow guys in Hades pull back their arms, like I'm gonna come forward in 2 seconds and slam you if you're still here.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, there's less mobs per level that I've seen, and the levels are pretty ruthless, but it's like, those monsters definitely hit more, and it's more than just your health that goes down. Your curse meter also rises. So it's like, you got to really balance those two things. It's such
a punishing game.
Yeah, it's punishing. It's such a cool mechanic. And then of course there's things like, evergreen progression mechanics that will last throughout your run. So you want to keep doing your next run and you want to keep going further and further. So there's that like...
Oh, wait, there's things that carry over from run to run?
Yes. So there's like different types of currencies that can be implemented over time once you reach certain thresholds that will make your next run a little bit better for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's like currency obviously throughout the runs. So yeah, cool. Curse of the Dead Gods, I would rate it on a scale of wouldn't fucking touch this thing with a 10-foot pole to love it and would try to play it again and maybe even beat it. I mean, I'll give it another couple hours for sure.
Okay. What is it like that would pull you back in? Is it mostly the gameplay, or is it the whole mix of everything, the gameplay and the art? Like
yeah, the art style is really cool. I think the gameplay is a lot of fun. They've done this thing where on your first couple of runs, you're not seeing all of the dungeon styles, you're not seeing all of the mobs and like all of the bosses. So they've done this thing where it's like, okay, what are the cool weapons I can get? What are like the combos that are OP? What's like the next, mob I'm going to encounter? And how do I like figure out what his weaknesses are? And then how do I just make my character more powerful? So they've done that. What could be improved is what Hades, I'm just going to compare it to Hades because it's like,
well, how can you not?
Hades had an amazing.
I've seen him play this a little bit. I've like seen him play like a couple minutes of it. So I do have an idea what's going on here.
Yeah. And I think Hades has done all the things that Curse of the Dead God did, but Hades added this additional layer of this like compelling storyline with multiple characters. And it's like what made Hades so good and makes it so good. And if you took all of that stuff out, you're left with kind of Curse of the Dead Gods, right? Like that's kind of the quality of the game that you have. And it keeps you coming back, but it's like, it's not quite at that award-winning level, but it's so damn good.
It doesn't have the same character development. That's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm getting at. Character and story, I would say. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. When you get a curse, is it similar in Hades where when you're getting a boon, where you're like making that tough choice, you're like, oh, this one's pretty good, but that one will be amazing if I can get this other one from Hermes or something, right?
No, I wish. It's like way more punishing than that. So
it's just this curse. Deal with it.
Yeah, from what I've found so far, there's 5 total curses that you can get. The 5th, it seems like there's 5 tiers, is a better way to explain it. And there's like a pool of randomized tiers of curses for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and then tier 5, you just don't want to get there because it's going to make the run impossible. So you have
for sure there's an achievement, right?
Yeah, there's probably an achievement for sure. But it's
only the best Curse of the Dead Gods players play a tier 5 curse. So
now that you mention that, I kind of want to go on YouTube and like see if there are people that purposefully just like, curse themselves up and just challenge them. There's just like that speedrun community. Maybe there's that like curse run community.
Yeah. Well, it's like doing Dark Souls with no armor and like a shit sword or whatever.
Classic naked
people
Dark
do
Souls,
it. Yeah. People do these things. Yeah. I find the game difficult enough as it is.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm playing right now. What about you, Pat? What are you playing?
Well, recently I fired up a game called Superliminal. It's very fun. It's first person, but there's no shooting. Okay, you basically just can interact. You have like an interact. I think you can jump.
Okay.
But it's like it is a mind fuck. This game. I played it for a couple friends, and they were in the right mindset for something crazy to happen. Without too many spoilers here, you kind of like are having sleep problems, and you go to this sleep clinic. This is how the game sets you into it, and they're doing a sleep therapy on you. So you're dreaming the entire time you're playing this game. Mm-hmm. Your character is dreaming. And it starts out as like a very simple, I'm going through their pre-programmed dream thing to try and like figure out what's going on in my head and like sort some shit out or whatever, right? And they're getting data and whatever. Fairly quickly breaks down in the way. If you ever played Portal?
Yeah. So is it similar? Like, is it top down? Is it side scrolling? What kind of?
Oh no, you're the character. Person? Like your hands are out or something.
Okay.
But you don't have a gun or anything. It's first person.
So I've played Portal. It like quickly goes bonkers.
Sideways, let's say, right? Yeah. So this game goes sideways. Isn't even like you don't know which way is what. It's wild, and it constantly breaks your brain visually. So it's things like it's all about perspective. So you'll be able to pick up this block, right? And there's a door you're trying to reach, but it's way up there, and this block is very small. But then when you hold the block up and then let go of it, it becomes that size and falls down, and now it's bigger.
Yeah, you know what? I've definitely seen alpha gameplay of this game.
And it's very cool.
Yeah, I've seen it like kind of not when it's stick figures, but when it's like just polygons.
Right.
And I remember watching, and this is like 5 years ago, I think, on Reddit that I saw, if this is what you're talking about. And I remember being like, wow, that is a trip.
Just play it. It's amazing.
It's kind of like when you pick something up and it's close to you because it's at the bottom of the screen, and then you move the cursor up as if it's raising above your head, it's also going farther away, and then therefore becomes a lot larger, and that helps you solve the puzzle.
Yeah. If you had an apple up here, but it's this big, it could be, but you're not holding it anymore. So it's up there. And if it were to fall, it would get bigger as it fell because it became closer to you.
Yeah,
and you
crazy.
Too. It's crazy.
I'd watch you play that.
Oh, yeah. It's fun to watch me play it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just fun to hear people reacting to it, going like, whoa, my brain. Because there's things, all sorts of things that happen. You go to a door, and as you're approaching it, you're like, oh, I'll go through this door. And as you get close to it, it's like the door is actually a stretched out image of a door painted on the wall. And you're like, you just stop and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's like those optical illusions, right? Like as if
it's rife with optical illusions. Yeah. And
So
then you'll go around the door and you're like, oh, it wasn't even, there's just a gap in the wall. Okay. All right.
Is it like super casual and chill? Or are there like, oh my God, the room is filling up with water and there's alligators in the water and there's lasers above you? Okay.
No, it's very chill. Yeah, it's very chill. There's like, you feel like you have all the time in the world to solve every problem. There is a sort of slow sense of increasing danger as there's no other characters, but there's like occasionally like a little cassette player, a little stereo box that if you find it, you can press play. And this very friendly Scottish doctor guy comes on and he's like, hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and I'm here to help you get out of this dream.
That's amazing.
And like as you progress, he gets a little bit more concerned for your well-being.
It's kind of like, who thought of this game? Right? Like,
how do you think of this?
and it's also really I think what sounds so interesting about it is that most games are just a riff on another mechanic that kind of like already exists. But this mechanic would be so difficult and it's like so unique. But imagine being a game developer and trying to like the boss comes to you with his like, TPS reports and his coffee mug and his Porsche and his parking spot. And he goes, all right, Pat, you got one job today. I had this dream last night and you got to play with optical illusions and make things just get bigger in the game verse and smaller and farther away and closer. Like, imagine being challenged with that. That'd be so...
Sure, no problem, boss. I got you. I immediately go for a smoke break, even though I don't smoke, and call somebody to like freak out about it.
check GitHub.
Who the fuck can I rip off here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but like that's just it. I don't know if there's another game out there that's very similar to this, or somebody came out first with a different thing. But like this one, to me, it's my first experience with something like this, and it's crazy. Like how Portal was the first to do that type of thing.
I got to be honest. I mean, I know people have played Portal all the way through and love it, and I respect those people because I'm too dumb. It's just not for me. Like I can't solve the puzzles. I don't have the like the stick-itivity,
sideways thinking.
It's not how my brain works. Like I'll watch you play it for sure. I'll watch you play it. I don't want to be the one going through the pain and agony of solving.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I played it with people watching or on Twitch, it was like you got input from them, right? So like, a lot of the time I was like, oh, I know how to do this. But then sometimes they could see me be like, how do I? And then they'd be like, hey, maybe you should try. There was a fire alarm thing back there. Go back and pull it. And I was like, oh, yeah.
So I'm going to take this.
The team effort helps you get past that.
There's this weird thing that Twitch has that scratches this itch that people may not know exists, but the itch to spoil games and problems and things, just being a spoiler is is an itch that certain people out there, and you know who you are, if
Not
you
me.
have this itch, that they have. And a perfect example of this is one of my buddies, his dad is a huge Star Wars fan. I'm talking like has all the memorabilia, doesn't take it out of the box, has all of the collectibles, like would go and, go to any of the cons and go and meet any of the actors just for a chance to get a signed picture. Okay. Like super fan of Star Wars. So this is back in.
I admire the super fans' passion.
Yeah, it's awesome for sure. But this is back in I guess when did this original second Star Wars movie come out? 70s or 80s? 70s, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we're talking
boomer times.
His name's Daryl. My friend's dad's name's Daryl. Daryl's in line at the movie theater. You know how it goes. The movie ahead of you comes out and they're walking past you as you're lined up to go in while the staff is in there cleaning the aisles and things.
Yeah, everyone's breathing on each other. Nobody has any masks.
So they're all lined up waiting to see the second episode of Star Wars. Second movie ever released. One of the biggest spoilers ever in movie cinematic history.
Oh, shit.
And some jackass comes out of the theater in front of the entire line of people that is going to see something. And he goes, oh, man, I can't believe Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad.
Fuck.
Totally spoiled it for everybody. And
brutal.
And what's really interesting, though, is that person exists on Twitch for games like Portal and Subliminal, right? Like but it's also kind of welcome. Like they're no longer an outcast and ostracized. It's like, they can potentially be groomed into learning how to appropriately give hints.
Yes, definitely. If you know that you kind of like meter out this information so the person doesn't get stuck and frustrated, but that they enjoy themselves and enjoy the struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, like that person coming out of that Star Wars movie is actual human garbage, let's be honest.
Yeah. If they did it on purpose, human garbage. If they did it accidentally, you really fucked up, bro. And, that's not cool.
Oh my God. I would be so mad. I would be so mad. Yeah. And so, but like, if you are a Twitch streamer, what's your experience when you get stuck in a puzzle? Do you look to chat to help you or to spoil it? Or is there a fine line?
I haven't had spoilers as an issue. There's some games like survival games and stuff where you don't know how to craft something and a community member can be like, oh, it's this, and you're like, sweet, thanks. I was gonna Google that.
Yeah.
I was gonna spoil that for myself.
Yeah. I would say that's less of a spoiler.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I've seen streamers when they know they're playing a very spoilery game, they'll just like no chat. Like I'm not listening to you guys. You're all bunch of spoilers.
Yeah.
No interaction.
What's like a spoilery game that you've played lately?
I'm gonna have to look at Steam and see.
Like
what would be a spoilery game? A lot of games like that are a single player playthrough of story are very spoilable. Like, right?
Yeah, like I played Detroit Becoming Human recently.
That one would be tough to spoil
because it's branches. There's so many options that it's like even if somebody wanted to spoil it, they would have to be very like specific and watch your entire playthrough and spoil every decision and take that decision to I honestly think it would be impossible to spoil.
Yeah. It would actually be kind of interesting if somebody tried to, intentionally spoil, but like somebody gets in there and is like, hey, did you know actually if you'd have done XYZ, then this would have happened to that guy? And as you're playing it, you'd probably be like, whoa, that's fucking crazy.
All right. So I did that
Hades
to myself.
It's a great example. Hades can be very much spoiled.
Okay. So I still haven't I've beat Hades.
It's not the biggest deal, but it's spoilable for sure.
I've beat Hades the dude. I haven't beat Hades the game. Like I haven't beat him enough times, and you keep trying to get me to finish it, but I just haven't had time to get in there.
Do it up. I think it'll take you just like half hour for a run. Like you may only need to do 2 more.
Yeah. I'll do it. It's just that's the everlasting problem of being a gamer is like deciding what game to play. It's like
so many games, so little time.
Scrolling through Netflix. What are we gonna watch tonight? So, so Pat, there's a couple of things that have been happening in the gaming world that I want to
is it time for Rob teaches us about industry news? I don't have a title for this segment.
I've just been dying to like bring some of this stuff up and just get your first thoughts and your opinions and your feedback on it. So we've kind of talked about some of this stuff previously, but there's a couple of new and like surprising ones I'm going to throw at you here about like how gaming is becoming just a gigantic industry and becoming more prevalent in everybody's lives. So did you know this? It was just announced that Rocket League is officially part of the X Games.
Really? Like the X Games, like with lots of skateboarding and BMXing and maybe snowboarding and stuff like that as well?
Yep. And
wild. All right. This is a merging of sports and esports.
And there's already talk about what this means for the Olympics.
No. Wow.
If you think about it, the X Games, as far as I know, would be the first official kind of sporting. I'm not talking about NFL. I'm not talking about F1 where it's an independent game. I'm talking about an existing sporting competition that has integrated its own event of gaming. Okay, so it's not like
in a sports competition.
Correct. It's not like a bunch of real NBA players play their regular season and then play a game of NBA 2K. No, this is like skateboarding, BMX biking,
Rocket League is an event within the context of that's crazy. This is wild. We'll see how the world and the community reacts. I don't know. So it's like, think about the Olympics, and every year there's a big discussion over like some sport gets cut and this other one comes in. And how and why they make those decisions is very complicated. There's a lot of like, how many people play this? How many people are interested? Can we put it on television and people will enjoy watching it? Which I believe squash is not an Olympic sport. Because it's very poor watching.
Yeah.
But it's clearly a really good competitive sport. So it's like you think about it like squash, not an Olympic sport. Let's start getting esports in though.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, I think you raise a good point, which is basically, is it that hard of a decision when to cut or bring on a new event for the Olympics? Like,
a lot of it comes down to money.
Money, right? Money and viewers and like what type of crowd.
And a little bit of integrity. I think. A little bit of there's some integrity.
Well, I couldn't think of an example of like when integrity would be the deciding factor.
I would guess like a really old sport that's been in there for a long time. Like the history of it is strong, but people don't really like watching it.
Is it wrestling?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, like I usually just soak up almost all Olympic content that's available to me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like, there'll be 8 events on at once and they'll have stats on what people click because a lot of people watch it digitally.
So I got to be honest, the thing that I'm worried about with this is, and I already think this happens too much, is that there's a branding problem, I believe, with esports. And it's the fact that they have sports in there. It's not a sport. Okay. I think it's its own category, and it's not, you don't need to be athletic to be great at video games. It's its own skill set. True. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of discussion. This is what worries me, is that there'll be a lot of discussion and controversy about
sports.
Yeah. And like, do these players who play games deserve to make money? people don't get it because you're calling it an esport. If you just said, like, if it had its own verbiage, its own name.
I'm waiting for you to.
I don't know the name. No, I haven't thought of the name. I'm not going to put that out there.
Competitive gaming,
yeah, great. Because I think what people get is that the reason why athletes make money is because going to watch a football game is a form of entertainment that draws a big crowd and creates a huge cult around a specific team in the league, and it's a huge event. And gaming,
there's a lot of togetherness, community. You're a part of that team's fan base, and you're there to watch people excel at a thing.
Yeah. And I think people get that. And I remember when Ninja was like earning, or somebody won, I think, what was it, $1.4 million or something at that Fortnite tournament?
Sounds like Psalm with a P.
Psalm with a P.
Psalm.
Like, Psalm, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, can you believe a video gamer makes this much money? But no, you're not getting it, because the amount of people that were tuned in and watching was breaking any record for sports, right? Like,
that's just it. Eyeballs.
Like,
how many eyeballs you got?
One kid playing games last month had like 2.4 million concurrent viewers. Was that what it was? It 2.4 or 1.4?
Really? I didn't hear about that. Were they actually playing a game?
Pardon me?
Or were they just chatting?
No, they were playing. Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. Just chatting is like one of the biggest. I think it is.
I think it's the biggest.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild.
We can save that convo for another day if you want.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting, and would love to, if you had to make a prediction on if video games were to be an event in the Olympics, what game would it be?
Okay. So first impression, I kind of thought a little bit about this when you presented this to me at the beginning here, is that why did they pick Rocket League? And I think that it's because Rocket League already has a decent esport following. It's been going for a few years. The talent's pretty high of the players. They know how to present it, record it, show it to us. Okay. So established esport. And there's no sport equivalent, right? It's not like how, like you said, with NHL or basketball or football, where the game is the same game. It's just a digital version. This is its own thing that you can't do in real life, at least not yet. I feel like it's a unique situation here. This is like, it looks like a sport but is digital and isn't copying a real sport. That's probably why they picked that one. So my next go-to would be to say, well, wouldn't you just pick the most popular esport right now and shove that in there, which I would assume would either be Dota or League.
I think it's League by far.
Yeah. And it would be, or you would go to a first-person shooter, because that's very popular too, right?
Okay. I love where you're going on, and I haven't really put too much thought in this, but I actually agree with you. So if I'm like an Olympic committee or an X Games committee member, and I'm thinking about my viewer and exposing them to this brand new form of event, League of Legends or Dota or any of those MOBAs that are
not going to get
popular, you have no idea as an outsider what is happening.
They'll hate it.
It looks like visual vomit. And like, I'm talking about this as somebody who loves those games.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about those games and you're looking at it for the first time, it looks like visual vomit. Like, there's so many abilities and things and heroes running around. But Rocket League is pretty simple.
It's soccer with race cars.
3 cars versus 3 cars with a big soccer ball.
Yeah.
And it's like easy to understand.
Yeah. But it also looks cool, right? Like, it's, I think I get it. I see now why they picked Rocket League.
Yeah. Okay. With that in mind, what do you think would be the first Olympic esport?
Well, I think if I'm sitting on the Olympic committee right now, I'm saying, yo, thanks. What's it called? X Games. Thanks, X Games.
Really teed this up.
Those Xers.
Yeah.
That's why I'm role playing like an old French white guy right now. Thank you very much, X Games, for taking a bullet for us. We will see how the Rocket League goes. If it's a success, then maybe we pick that. But like, really, that's probably like they're getting a free test. They're going to see how that goes. How is that welcomed or is it rejected? And then I'd probably look at like, I think you got to immediately throw out the MOBAs. The non-MOBA players are just like, their eyes are going to glaze over.
Yeah.
You know? Even the first-person shooters are like, they're not going to appreciate the depth of skill that's happening there at the top levels. And it's like, honestly, kind of messy to watch. Like I watch some Overwatch whenever they go into a player's view on their screen. Like I feel sick. I can't.
Yeah. It's Overwatch. I find Overwatch especially difficult to, and I
very
think,
busy. It's very twitchy.
Yeah, I don't think it's designed for spectating. I think it's fun to play because I've played it. It is fun. But as a spectator, it's I think it's one of the biggest challenges with the Overwatch League, which is probably why I didn't see as much success as it would have seen with the amount of money put into it if it was just a spectatable game. It's kind of like throwing a bunch of money at squash and trying to make it tennis. Like it's just
people are never going to enjoy watching it.
It's just it's great to get in there and play. It's terrible to watch. It just is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the nature of the game.
I know.
So
as a TV sport, even as a player, I don't really want to. I'm down to watch it live. It's different live, but like physically there. But, I would say, if you're really forcing me to guess, Rocket League is a front runner. Personally, I think Valorant is pretty sweet to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it translates well to everyone else. It's hard to separate, my personal feelings. Maybe Fortnite.
I was going to ask about
mega popular, right? And seeing people quickly build those structures. If you can have a camera that's separate and an observer that's floating around and watching, that can look pretty cool.
Honestly, Fortnite was going to be my suggestion. Like, I don't like Fortnite to play. It's not my.
Oh, I hate it.
And I don't like the art style. I just don't like it. It's not for me.
Because I hate it because I can't build fast enough, and I'll just get killed every fucking time.
Yeah, I don't find it interesting. I'm not gonna. But this isn't Rob hates on Fortnite. This is like it's just not for me, and I understand why people do like it. But I think if the Olympic Committee that decides on events and was going through the decision process of like what's going to bring eyeballs to what we're doing.
Fortnite would bring a lot of
you are capturing a generation of kids, and the only other thing that I could think of would be like if there was a competitive Minecraft, which there isn't. Right? Minecraft. Like
speed runs? I don't know.
I don't know, but it sounds like it could be fun. But I would say Fortnite would probably be the front runner because of the just mass appeal. And keep in mind as well, right? Like Olympics are not just a North American thing. They are a global thing, which is why things like karate, which is not popular in North America, is still in the Olympics because in Asian countries like Korea and Japan and China is super popular. And it's like they're not going to get rid of it because it doesn't meet the North American viewership. Guess what? There's a truckload of viewers in those countries that will participate and view those sports. So I don't know what Fortnite's player base is in China or Korea, but it's got to be pretty high, right? And I also, to be fair, I don't know what Rocket League's is either. But I mean, just based on like the Steam charts, we know that Fortnite is pretty much top of the list as far as video games. It's pretty consistently up there with like a couple 100,000 viewers, 150,000 viewers concurrently. So
I tried to Google it really quick, couldn't find it. All I could find was like how many pro players various countries have, but that's somewhat informative. It looked like there was a bunch of European, like Sweden was number 3 or something. US, Canada, Sweden, Then I said, this is a waste of my time. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, wow. Right? So, all right. I mean, look, I've got like 5 other topics here that I just want to like get into, but I don't know what time is like. What do you think?
That's been quite a bit. I feel like, what are we at? It might be time to skip on to the fun stuff and save the deep topics for the next time.
I resent that remark. That was fun.
That was fun. That was very fun. Fluff topics, then, let's say.
Okay, all right. Fluff it up. Would that
Okay.
make you a fluffer? Is that what that is?
Yes, I'll happily be a fluffer. I'm proud to represent the fluffer community. All you fluffers out there, I hear you. I know your struggle and your pain, and I'm here with you. Let's fluff together.
Got an OnlyFans account. Fluff that.
Only fluffs. We are going to move on to a very fluffy segment called Rob Struggles to Answer Trivia Questions.
Hell yeah.
So, are you able to listen to the things I'm going to play for you?
Yes.
There we go. I thought we'd start in our first session of this trivia section with a very popular game that I know that you have told me you didn't necessarily play all the way through, but you've seen a lot of people play. It's a game from when we were kids. We all know it. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I'm not going to hate
the
you.
Answer?
All of congratulations. You win.
Oh yeah, man. I'm great at this.
I'm not going to hit you with what is the name of this Ocarina song, because I think that might be tough for you to remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, what I'm going to hit you with is the soundtrack of various places.
Oh my
God.
God.
I want you to tell me, where are we?
Sauron's Mountain.
I haven't even... Wait, is it silence up there? Wait a minute. It's not even the right universe.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Voldemort's cave.
Okay. This one is a classic, okay?
Okay, I got to make sure I can hear it. Aren't you in the little shop with the accordion man?
Is it accordion man?
Yeah, you're
I'm
in
not trying to sell you
village.
anything.
You're in the village.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's happening?
Village?
He's playing this accordion.
Yeah, you're in the shop. A Hyrule Fountain Man village, dude.
All right, close enough.
What was it?
For half points. You're in this guy's Windmill. It's the Song of Storms.
The Windmill.
Where the
guy. I knew the guy.
Yeah. You got the accordion guy. I feel like you were there.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to fish. The only thing I used to play in that game, I used to fish so much.
Oh, the fishing was fun. Did you ever get that big motherfucker fish where you had to put iron boots on and like there was like a legendary fish?
No, I never did that. That sounds awesome though.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Hype! Shoot!
Oh God, man. I don't know. Are we just running around fields?
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a fieldy music.
It's early game, I'll give you that.
Yeah, you're not Big Link yet, I think. You're still Little Link, aren't you? Are you where Dooku Tree?
Oh yeah, we are in the forest, Kokiri Forest.
I got basically.
I mean, we're not inside the Deku tree, but like we're out and around it. We're in the field, I think.
Yeah, Deku.
That one, full points. Right. 1.5 points so far. Very nice.
All right.
More than I thought you were getting it.
I'm killing this. I'm basically the best.
Okay, well, I'm also trying to give you not the craziest hard ones because that would be not so fun. This might be my favorite.
Oh, I don't know this one. Shadow Temple.
Come on, you can feel it, right? You like feel we're on the back of a horse. Like it's hot outside.
Epona? I don't know. Where are we galloping?
It's like we're in a, it's very, very hot. Like the sun is beating down on us.
I don't even know.
There's cactuses around.
Is it desert? Don't you fight Shadow? Don't you fight Shadow Link?
Gerudo Valley. You don't remember the desert part? This is where you meet Sheik.
Sheik, which is basically Sheik is Zelda, right?
Well, spoiler. Jeez.
But how is she? How do you meet her and you've got to rescue her from Goron? Goron?
Let's not get into the.
Okay.
Oh, no points for that one. I feel like wait,
Yeah,
or half
definitely
point.
not.
No, it was no. Okay, how about this one though? This one.
This water temple? No.
I thought you might say water temple, but it's not, and you knew it wasn't. What's happening? I feel like I'm getting healed. Like it's a wonderful place, safe place.
Are you in where you catch the fairies?
We are inside the Great Fairies Fountain, where the huge fairy in like a fairy bikini.
And you have like bottles, and you got to swipe at them to get the fairy.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
very nice.
But isn't it also when there's just random puddles of fairies around or something?
Hey, listen. Hey.
What's that fairy's name again? Does it have one?
Navi.
Navi. Oh yeah, Navi's awesome.
Let's take you here. Oop.
This sounds water temple.
Not the water temple. Where else is very watery?
Zora, Queen Zora person.
Oh, I think that's worthy of full points there.
What did I
Zora's
get?
domain.
Zora's. Hell yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The gears were turning. He got there.
Okay. I think this is good. What's the main mountain called? It's not Mount Doom. Goron. It's Sauron. Is it Goron or Sauron?
Oh, are you asking who the main evil dude is?
Yeah, Goron, right?
Ganondorf.
However,
there is a mountain.
Yeah, what's it called?
Yeah, what is it called?
Goron's Mountain? And what are the rock people called?
Well, I mean, like I can
maybe they're
tell you
Gorons,
but then maybe you're gonna know the answer to our next question.
Are the rock people Gorons?
I think they're Gorgons with another G. I could be
No,
wrong.
a Gorgon is like another name for a Medusa.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then they're Gorons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got confused with. Sauron and Goron.
All right,
this is rock music. This is them playing
rock music.
Doing a bongo or whatever.
I tossed you up a softie. You're taking it out of the park.
All right. So basically,
remember this one? We're at 4.5 points. You're doing all right. Okay, there's not too many of these left because a lot of them are a little too out there, a little too difficult. But there's still some fun ones, like this one.
I feel like you're in a safe place. You're in the village. You got to be in the village.
Yeah.
Man, great music in this game.
Yeah, fantastic music. Can you be more specific, or
I don't know.
There's definitely like a couple of villages.
No, you're in the village where you like play the game where you like shoot the stuff.
Ah, yes. All right, we're giving it to him.
You know what I'm talking about. What was that?
I do know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can play the music of where you shoot the stuff. This one.
Yeah, totally. Like, awesome.
Full points. I think he knew where we were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How about this one, though?
Serious throwback for me.
Oh, yeah. Really digging back down in those memories.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I never played and beat this game. Like, I only watched my buddy play it growing up.
That's right. And how many COVID tests have you had?
How many COVID tests?
Yeah.
0.
Oh, okay. Then you should have all your family memories intact.
Is that your childhood COVID?
Well, because they go so deep in there.
Yeah, they tickle your brain.
They take away your earliest memories.
How do you know that they don't just add new family members?
True. Mr. Poopy Butthole?
Yeah, like that episode of Rick and Morty.
Mr. Poopy Butthole is a treasured family member. Okay?
Can't believe you shot me, Beth.
We love him. All right, how about this one? This is a stretch. Let's see if you can even just describe what the place is like, what's going on.
Okay.
Right.
You're in like Sheik's temple. This is like Middle Eastern. Yeah, there's like a snake charmer happening. Sand.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. That like Santa, where you're doing all the mirrors with your shield. It's not that one.
I don't know.
This is a tough one. Well, I told you it was a stretch. It's the potion shop where there's that like creepy person. But he's pissed. He's pissed I even gave him that one.
Rude. That was rude. Nonsense.
All right, okay. We'll bring it back down. There's only a couple left. How about this one?
Oh, you're in the temple with the Master Shield and sword, right? The Temple of
Time?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and we're back. Rob's not mad at me anymore.
Yeah, now I'm happy.
Woo! This is our second to last. Here we go. Feel that fresh air. Ready to start
You're an opponent's stable. You got to be an opponent's stable.
No. Wait for the main. That was just the intro.
Dude, I would still say this is opponent's stable music. I have no idea. Like, you're running around.
Stands by his answer.
What?
Standing by your answer.
I stand by. It's still opponent's stable.
All right, that was Hyrule Field. Just like when you're out and about on the countryside.
With Epona. Okay, but he's not stable, so fair enough. Okay.
Fair enough. Okay, here we go.
This is like a little lovey-dovey.
This is a little lovey-dovey.
Is this the ending credits?
Oh, I think we give it to him there. This is the title theme, like when you're on the start menu. It was a bit of a trick.
What happens?
Question.
What happens at the end of the game? Is it this music also?
Probably. Maybe. I don't know, actually. Then maybe there's credits music.
Can you do it right now? Pull it up. See Zelda Ocarina of Time, like Zelda credit music. I feel like this is We Rescued Zelda.
Credits music. Click. It's very similar, but slightly different.
It's super similar, but different. Okay, so I didn't get that.
Yeah. I don't know, though. You got more than 50% of the questions. Like, you're over half. I think you were at like 6 or 7. That deserves one of these.
I'm super curious to know if anybody that listens to this would be able to answer all of those perfectly. Like,
yeah, perfect is tough.
What do you think? What do you think the chances are of somebody getting all of those right?
If you are under the age of 18,
0.
Might yeah.
This is an N64 game, man. Come on. You're playing Fortnite.
No, yeah.
You're not playing Ocarina of Time on the N64. If you showed a 16-year-old kid the N64 controller, they'd laugh you out of the room.
So true. That controller was crazy.
It was so bad.
Like, you had to switch your hand.
You know how many
which way are you gonna hold it? Different ways to hold it.
Yeah, I would get so many red spots on my thumb from Mario Party and Mario Kart, and man, that controller would go through some abuse.
For sure. I had one friend. This is gonna blow your mind. He didn't have a hand. He didn't have a left hand, I think. Yeah, and so he was just born that way. But he had a lot of the wrist bones. So he had this kind of short nub that he was able to rotate around.
Yeah,
and he would use that to do the joystick, and then the right hand would reach around to get the trigger and press all the other buttons. And he was fucking sick. Kick my ass at Goldeneye. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
There's a company, and I can't remember the name of them, but they specialize in making accessible controllers for consoles.
That is cool.
And it's super cool because if you think about it, right, video games is such an accessible pastime and hobby and passion, but what's not accessible about it, it's the controllers. And that's a perfect example. That's not comfortable. He had to adapt to use that. Mm-hmm. And he did
successfully, but
the market isn't huge, right? Because you'd have to make a controller for various types of, conditions or disabilities or whatever. And so I think what's really great about this company is they're not in it to just make a boatload of money, right? Like they're obviously in it to just do what's right and do what's great for people out there.
That's very heartwarming.
I'll look them up. Have you heard of this before?
No, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll look it up and we'll bring it up on our next episode. We'll give them a plug and a shout out because it's seriously just something that's awesome and dope, right?
Yeah, I love that. And speaking of our next episode, it's time to end this one. And for anyone who's chain listening or watching to all of these, we'll see you in 30 seconds. But for the rest of you, we'll see you in a week. This has been a great pod. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you so much to our elegant host with those shitting in the woods bear comments. Patty O'Reilly, you're awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. That brings us to the end of this here podcast. We'll see you all next week for another episode of Pixel Scouters.
See ya.